OKOEKHIAN, right? Okay, OKOEKHIAN-OGULU. You're a chairperson of the Nigerian Optometric Association, Lagos State branch. Is that correct?
Yes, very correct.
Nice to have you in the building. How are you doing?
Thank you for having me. I'm doing great.
It's been quite a long while we had you on this frequency. It appears every year we're always having this communion, right?
Yes, we do.
All right.
And thanks for the opportunity.
Wonderful. So look to your left. We have our live cameras. How you've been here ever since we launched these cameras, right?
I don't think so.
No,
I don't think so. The last time, no, there were no cameras.
At that time?
Yes.
Okay, but now we have cameras that can see the roads.
Fantastic.
What do you make of it?
It's a great improvement. It's fantastic, really.
Okay.
And I'm super impressed. You guys are flying high.
Wonderful. All right, so let's begin the program. We're trailing World Sight Day.
Yeah.
Which is every Thursday, right?
Second Thursday in October every year.
It's designated as World
Sight Day.
Any reasons why it was done so?
Okay, well, I think they just choose a particular day. Just like we have, other celebrations in different months of the year. But I know that globally, World Sight Day is celebrated on the second Thursday every year with a theme that is meant to raise awareness, create awareness to a specific area. Like this time around, the theme is Love Your Eyes, but with special emphasis on children's vision. Last year, the emphasis was on the workplace, but this time we said the International Agency for Prevention of Blindness designated it to children's vision.
Right.
So we're beaming the searchlight on children's vision as it relates to their well-being, overall well-being, because we all know how important the gift of sight is.
So let's talk about that now. So the eye is very, very crucial to existence. So describe to us that organ of the body, which is the eye, as an optometrist.
Okay. As an optometrist, I will also use the biblical word that the eye is a window to the body. It is through the eye that you see the world. It is through the eyes that you see the beauty of the world. And it is the eye that completes you, that makes one really fully effective. Because without the eyes, you can't learn, you can't grow, you can't associate, you can't interact effectively. So because we know how crucial the eye is, connected to every part of the body with special reference to the brain.
Okay.
Because the eye in the body works like a camera. The light comes, the image is formed, and then the brain captures it and signals are sent and vision is established. So if that eye is not working well, you can't capture the picture. And so you can't see, you can't make meaning, you can't interpret, you can't innovate, you can't apply the message that you are seeing.
Except for technology.
Yes, except for technology. However, not everybody as at now have that access.
Okay.
So that is why the International Agency for Prevention of Blindness is emphasizing on us taking steps for early detection and prevention of avoidable blindness.
All right. So now that we are looking at this now, in terms of those that come down with eye defects or eye health challenges across the world, how common is it?
Well, it is quite common. However, a lot of people really don't get to know. I'll make a special reference to children. In this part of the world, we have a lot of reservations. We have a lot of misconceptions where we feel, the child is just a child. And as such, you find out that a lot of parents, caregivers, guidance don't really pay enough attention to the child's eyesight. And that is one of the reasons why this World Sight Day is critical. That's why it's important, because we're trying to prioritize children's eye health, considering the fact that it helps them to grow, it helps them to learn effectively, and it helps them to interact. So one of the things we're trying to raise is that children generally, a good number of them have visual impairments that reduces their capacity.
Right.
For example, many children go down with refractive errors that stays uncorrected for a long time. You see some children who at early age, they tend to go close to the TV. They take their books very close to their eyes. Some rub their eyes a whole lot. Right. But when children exhibit this, as per going close to the TV or taking their books close to their eyes, what we usually see is the parents, shove the children aside. You scold the child and tell the child, yes, go back. However, these are signs. They are classical signs that parents or teachers should pay attention to.
All right. Let's talk about some of the common ailments that affect the eye. I was thinking you're going to give me some statistics that would say, well, this is the percentage of people that normally come down with eye health challenges across the world. But maybe that is not readily available.
Okay, well, we have across the world.
Yes.
The statistics, current statistics now says that over 2 billion people, 2 billion
out of 8 billion.
Yes, have visual impairments. And out of the 2 billion, 450 million children have visual impairments.
Wow.
But currently in Nigeria, the latest statistics we have from World Health Organization states that 400,000 Nigeria have visual impairment. Of course, that is that statistics came out 2019, which means it would have grown by now.
That's right. It should have been updated.
Yes. However, we know that a whole number of children with visual impairments go undetected. Reason being that they don't get to come to the clinic. So one of the things we are actually pushing with this campaign is to raise the awareness of both the government agencies and the schools as well as the parents for the need to prioritize eyesight, such that, like for the government, it would be very good if the government can initiate a bill, if the government can put a policy where every child before going to school have his or her eyes examined. Likewise, the schools and even the parents.
All right, so we'll still get back to that and what government as well as non-governmental organizations like yours should be doing. But in terms of the ailments now, common ailments or perhaps some of the diseases that could affect the eye, what are they? Okay,
common ailments that can affect the eyes for children are refractive errors, where we're talking about short-sightedness, myopia, long-sightedness, astigmatism. Then you have allergies, you have conjunctivitis, you have some children coming out with some inflammatory reactions. But the one that you see, that is just there, most of the time is usually uncorrected refractive error.
Okay, so terminologies like glaucoma, that doesn't affect children?
No, it does. Okay. Glaucoma, cataracts, they do, but these are congenital. By congenital, I mean they are born with it.
They're inherited.
Yeah, inherited. Or some of them, sometimes, in some few cases, may have it as a result of complication of another problem. But they are there. But the prevalence of that amongst children is a lot more reduced than the refractive error. Refractive error is the one that is a lot more common, but not detected on time, simply because they don't get to come. And then we also have this stigma. A lot of parents shy away from taking their child to the optometrist simply because they have this reservation against the use of glasses.
Yeah. All right. Anything wrong with the use of glasses?
Absolutely not. Definitely not. As a matter of fact, glasses are enhancers. They are meant to give you adequate and comfortable vision.
And they make you more beautiful.
Yes, and they make you more beautiful. So
I don't know how that too, but that's what some say, really.
Of course they do. Though some tell you it makes them look more nerdish.
Okay.
But the truth is, glasses actually gives a spice to your outlook.
Okay. All right. So in all of this as well, Dr. Ogulu, is there a way one can identify that one's eyesight is going bad? Are there signs that one will begin to see?
Yeah, for children there are a lot of signs.
Okay.
And some of these signs are, you see a child inability to see at far, to read well. Then you see children who itch their eye, who are rubbing their eyes a whole lot. You see children who trail, when they want to read, they trail the lines with their finger.
Wow.
Is a sign. You see some children, when they want to read, they tilt their head. Some, they close one eye to see with the other eye. Some complain of headache. Some, their eyes are watery. Their eyes are reddish. All these are symptoms that parents, guardians, caregivers, teachers should pay attention to, such that when these things are coming up, if you see a child consistently itching his or her eyes, a child consistently going close to the TV to watch, a child reading with the finger across, to trace the letter in order to be able to read, there are things that you should look out for. Another sign too that parents should pay attention to, when you see a child who is always running away from reading, who does not like to read, it may be as a result of the discomfort that he or she is experiencing.
Wow.
So because of that, they tend to go, when you ask them to read, they are always going away. And you also find some children who, every time they are reading, they tell their parents, my eyes ache.
Okay.
It is a sign that parents should pay attention to. Then, aside from this, we now have other physical symptoms that goes with conjunctivitis, allergies.
Right.
These ones, when the eyes are red and it's watery and it's swollen. But the challenge we have is when these things happen, people quickly go to the pharmacy. However, not all red eye is conjunctivitis. It
You
could
mean
be,
it?
yes, of course. It could be an indication of something else. It could be an indication of something much more serious than conjunctivitis. So, in as much as these signs are there, they vary from one disease to the other because they have other associated symptoms that the eye doctor, the optometrist can detect in good time.
All right, then Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. We're staying healthy behind the wheels this beautiful Saturday morning, and we're looking at it from the perspective of World Sight Day, which is every second Thursday in the month of October. Let's get back to the roads and still trail one or two things. Iju Shaga corridor, I understand most of the areas there generally looking very, very calm. All directions that links to Fagba intersection is very encouraging at the moment. Agege Pen Cinema, very good to go in and out at the moment. We can also tell you College Road is equally moving smoothly as we speak. And we can also tell you that the stench now, okay, of Idiagbon heading towards Urimolade, I don't know, Yaya Baton. Okay, that's stretch. Heading towards Yaya Baton and Haruno up to Ajayi. Very much in good state. Very much in good stead as we speak right now. Ishagaran about looking good too. No cause for alarm. Alarm Utu connecting Fagwa Junction inwards Agege is gathering momentum. Most of the areas there generally cool and calm. All right. So even though you've spoken about, the signs and symptoms, for those that do not know how the eye works, Dr. Ogulu, what are the main parts? Just give us an idea of what the nature of the eye. Is it just that thing that people see out there that causes people to see, or are there more intricate, more complex?
Of course, the eye is a very complex, organ. Now, in simple terms, if you're looking at my eye straight ahead, the features you see what we call the sclera, you see the iris, you see the pupil, you see the shiny part that is the cornea. Now, this cornea, this shiny part is very, very important. It plays a key role in how well we see because it has to be clear for light to go through. So the way the eye works basically, like I mentioned earlier, it works like a camera such that as we view, light rays coming, goes through the cornea, go through the lens within the eye, and the image is formed at the retina.
Okay.
So when the image is formed at the retina, signals are sent to the brain, and then the brain interprets it and returns it back to the eye, and then vision is established.
All right, so all this must be there.
Yes.
If any one of them is absent, the eyes will not see.
Definitely. If there is a compromise in any of this, the eyes will not see. And that's the reason why, like for refractive condition I mentioned, it has to do either with the cornea or the size or shape of the eyeball.
All right, so if the iris you said is the camera, is the lens?
No, the lens is within.
Okay.
The iris is the black part of the eye.
All right.
Then the cornea is the transparent part covering the iris. When you are looking at my eyes, you see a shiny part. That is the cornea. That part is crucial.
Which part is the camera that links to the brain?
The eye itself is the camera. The eye itself is the camera. But the camera has different parts. You have the shutter.
Okay.
You have so all of them play their own role.
Okay.
But the eye is the camera, in total. However, the parts that I said are most important, like the cornea, is very crucial.
Okay.
This cornea is the external part. The lens within the eye is also important. The lens, just like the camera has a lens. If the lens is foggy, if the lens is not clear, you won't get a clear picture. Then the retina. The retina is where this image will land. So if the retina is not healthy, if the retina is not placed where it ought to be, assuming the eyeball is longer or shorter than normal, what happens is that when the image falls, it will fall either in front of the retina or behind the retina. So the brain, which have nerve cells, now that's the retina which have nerve cells connected to the brain, cannot now pick these signals for the brain to send the right input to the eye for vision to be established.
Right. So, and like you said, if anyone is compromised, there's going to be a problem, right?
There definitely will.
All right. Are there ways that the eye talk to us? Can the eye talk to us?
The eye talks to us a whole lot.
In what ways?
Now, you know, just like the body, the body talks to us in the signs and symptoms that it gives. Likewise, the eyes. When the eyes are healthy, in most cases, you see you are comfortable in your viewing and you know that everything is okay. However, there are a few cases where you may be comfortable, but some things are going wrong within. But for simple conditions that children have, you will see the eye telling you in terms of how bright the eye is. For example, in cases like what we call vernal conjunctivitis, some disease condition, you will see the eye is brownish over time because of the impact of the infection. Where people have allergies, the eye talks to you where you see the eyelid can be swollen. And then it becomes, you feel sandy sensation. You feel itching. These are ways the eyes are talking to us. Now, for the refractive condition that we are making emphasis on, we're laying emphasis on, they are simple. Where you are looking and everything is blurry and foggy as if there is harmattan, the eye is speaking to us. Where you are reading and you are having eye ache, the eye is speaking. Where you are reading and the eyes are watery, the eye is telling you something is not right. So basically, the way the eye speaks to us based on adequacy and comfort. So when you notice that you cannot see well like others are seeing, it is a statement of fact that something is wrong. Another thing we try to educate people about is the fact that, because we have two eyes, sometimes one eye can be defective and the other eye is functional.
And I'm just wondering why that is so.
Well, that is nature.
Why does the air come in pairs?
Well, I think it's the generosity of God.
Okay.
We have to be thankful to God for that. Because if we don't have two eyes, for instance, and something happens to one, then we're really handicapped.
Right.
So what we usually tell people is sometimes you do some simple exercise, just close one eye and view with the other, and you'll be surprised.
Does that add to the health of the eyes? If I'm to do that?
Well, I wouldn't say health, but it keeps one informed.
Okay.
Because if, for instance, one eye is really defective and you shut one and you see the other eye cannot see what the second one was saying, then that is a signal. And then you take action.
Can one drive with one eye?
It is not advisable. People do it, but it's not. Because for driving, you need binocular vision. You need both eyes to be in sync. It is actually a great hazard, driving with one eye. Because, with the way the car is now, you have two mirrors. So if you are going to be driving with one eye, then one eye is defective. What that means is that things on that part, you cannot assess the depth enough, you cannot assess distance enough, and this can cause accidents on our road.
All right, Dr. Ogulu, there's something you guys always refer to as 20/20 vision. Is that correct?
Very correct.
What's that?
20/20 vision is actually the standard measurement for good vision at far. What it means is that at 20 feet, the person is able to see the normal size of image that he or she is expected to see. Just like we have 6 feet, you have weight and all that. So 20/20 vision is the standard measurement for adequate vision at far distance.
All right, then Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. This morning on the program, we're doing some kind of advocacy as we trail World Sight Day. So it's the second Thursdays of every October. And I have Dr. GLORIA OKOEKHIAN-OGULU. She is the chairperson of the Nigerian Optometric Association Lagos State Chapter. We'll find out how they will be marking this in the next 4-5 days. But before then, getting back to the roads, most of the areas are still looking very, very cool. If you're making that journey to the island, all connecting points are looking very favorable. At the moment, Third Milan Bridge, very good. Eco Bridge, also looking good. And then we can tell you Qatar Bridge too. You can have access to the island through that end. Earlier on, we talked about an accident on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. That has been cleared. So if you want to make that journey outwards Lagos, it's still looking good for now. No major worries. All right, so we're talking eye care. So if you have one or two concerns about your eyes or perhaps the eyes of your children, specifically this year, the whole idea is to pay much more attention to our children. So if you have any question for our guests this morning, feel free to connect with us. And that's on your regular numbers, 080991207 8777 and 091 53877127. Okay, those are the numbers that you can connect with us. All right, so in terms of healthcare and in terms of care for the eyes, doctor,
Yes, sir.
I know that the eye is one organ wherein 3 or more professionals are involved. Is that correct?
Very correct.
Talk to me. So who are they?
Okay, so we have the ophthalmologists, we have the optometrists, we have the opticians.
All right, optician, ophthalmologist,
Optometrists, yeah.
I thought opticians. I thought that those professions are obsolete. Are they still around?
No, yeah, they are. Now, the opticians are basically the technicians that deal with fixing of the lens into the glasses because they study the optics of lens. When I mean lens, I mean the glasses now.
Okay.
So the opticians basically help us with that in terms of forming the lens. There's what we call surfacing of the lens and all that, and fixing the lens on the frame. But the optometrist is your primary eye care practitioner, the first point of call, who sees and examines your eyes to know whether there's a refractive problem, there's a disease condition, and make necessary recommendation whether you're going to be treated with glasses, with eye drops, or with drugs. However, the ophthalmologist is the consultant that takes care of vision problems that are threatening, eye problems that threatens vision and sometimes threatens life. That's the reason why the ophthalmologists are specialists in surgeries. They are specialists in some vision-threatening conditions like tumors, some diabetic retinopathy, those critical conditions that deal more with the internal eye and the retina.
So, first point of call is who?
The optometrist.
The optometrist.
Yes, sir.
So, people like you, we must see you first. At every point, you mean once we begin to see some of those symptoms, it is the optometrist that one goes to?
Exactly. It's just
Why?
like the general practitioner.
Okay.
Now, the optometrist, the reason why you need to see the optometrist first is because the optometrist deals first, with the basic things. The optometrist does the examination, knows where the problem is, and knows the best options in terms of best treatment options to apply. Because now, like I said, the ophthalmologist is a consultant, is a specialist. So, for instance, you cannot have malaria, you cannot have a headache, and you go into the hospital seeking to see the cardiologist.
Or the surgeon.
Or you want to see the surgeon.
Okay.
So if you have a general ailment, if you have some discomfort, in your body system, the first point of call is the general practitioner. So your general practitioner, medical doctor, sees you and then tells you whether it is a surgical case or is a gynecologist or is a neurologist or is an orthopedic, as the case may be. So that is how the ophthalmologist stands with the optometrist.
Right.
The ophthalmologist sees all the cases that are vision threatening and all sometimes life threatening.
Wow. Okay, so the ophthalmologist, the optometrist is the first. Then at what point do we see the optician?
Okay, now the optician, basically, the patient really don't get to see the optician. Like I said, the optometrist is sandwiched between the optician and the ophthalmologist, such that when the optometrist attends to you and you need glasses, he refers you to the optician, who does the fixing of the lens into the frame. In a case where the case is a disease condition like glaucoma, macular degeneration, cataracts, diabetic retinopathy, or tumors, yes, because they are eye tumors,
right.
The optometrist now refers you to the ophthalmologist, who takes care of it. Like I said, where a cardiologist cannot be called to take care of headache, or fever. In the same vein, I think the ophthalmologist is big, so big that you can't be calling him to take care of simple allergies or refractive error. The optometrist has been trained sufficiently, to take care of these eye problems that relates to the vision and even the body systems, like the refractive condition,
Right.
conjunctivitis, allergies, as the case may be.
Okay, then. So let's expand the discourse beyond the studios now to have your input as well. 08099120777. That's the numbers that you can call, or perhaps 09153877127. Okay, that's 09153877127. Those are the numbers that you can connect with us this morning. We're talking eye care, and the chairperson of the Nigerian Optometric Association Lagos State Branch is here with us. Dr. Gloria OKOEKHIAN-OGULU. All right, this one says, good morning, Victor and the optometrist. Please kindly ask your guests, can the eye be operated upon considering its highly sensitive nature? You didn't put your name there, by the way. So is that possible?
Definitely, certainly. That's where the optometrist is trained. The ophthalmologist, sorry.
Okay.
The ophthalmologists are specialists in these things, and they know what to do. Depending on the condition, depending on what the issues are, the ophthalmologist can effectively carry out surgical operations that once they are done, vision is restored and the person is good to go. Just like the heart, the brain. So the surgery can be easily done. And like you mentioned earlier, thankfully now technology is making it a lot easier.
Okay.
So the techniques, the skills are improving by the day. So the eyes can be very well operated upon.
All right, this one says, happy weekend, Lagosians. In what ways does lifestyle impact eye health, particularly regarding screen time? Okay, particularly regarding screen time and diet. Tunde is sending that one in.
Fantastic question. So this is one of the things we are trying to beam the searchlight on, especially for children, because screen time is not in the best interest. It's not to anybody's advantage, as in prolonged screen time, so to speak.
Okay.
The reason is because when you've on the digital device for too long, the eyes are exposed to the rays of the digital devices, and with that prolonged attention, what happens most of the time is that the Oteri film in the eye tends to evaporate, and it causes a lot of complications like dryness. It can cause the person to be so sensitive to light. The person can have headaches. And research has also shown now that prolonged screen time is predisposing people to become more short-sighted. As a matter of fact, yes, there's a research ongoing now. There's a projection now that I think whether here 2050, I'm not too sure, that there will be what we call myopia explosion.
Myopia?
By myopia explosion, it means that a lot more people will be more short-sighted than we used to have because of prolonged screen time. So we are actually advocating that parents should reduce screen time for their children. One trend that is going on now, you see a lot of parents tend to use tabs as a way of distracting the children.
Right.
Young children, 1-2 years. So you just put games for them. And before you know it, these children become addicted to it, and it is not in their best interests.
Okay. So one should watch it? Yes,
definitely.
All right, then. More reactions coming in for you. Let me see. It says, can poor vision affect a person's quality of life in ways beyond just eyesight?
Of course. That it is an understatement.
It can.
Yes, because if you have poor vision, you can't see well, you can't perform optimally, you can't be productive enough.
All right.
So it's definitely going to affect your quality of life.
That's debatable,
Yes, I know.
All right.
I know.
This one says, good morning, Victor. Could you discuss the impact of low vision? Low vision rehabilitation programs in Nigeria. Okay, low vision rehabilitation programs in Nigeria. Yemi is sending that one in. So,
yes, there is low vision rehabilitation in Nigeria. However, because the low vision specialists are not so many and the devices are equally expensive, we have a lot of people who they have low vision and they don't follow up, they don't follow through. But like in Lagos, I make bold to say that Lasuth, for instance, have a department for low vision. Then we have about 5 optometric clinics where you have low vision specialists that engage in low vision rehabilitation.
Now, these low vision people, they are people that cannot see well? Or
yes, their vision is impaired. They haven't gotten to
They're not blind yet?
No, they're not legally blind, but their vision is severely impaired, such that some of them cannot move on their own.
Wow.
They are not blind completely in the sense that they can still perceive lights, but they can't function effectively.
All right,
then some, they can even move around, but they can't read. So there is a level where the vision has reduced to a significant level where glasses cannot improve it to a certain amount.
So they need other forms of enhancers.
Yes, they need other forms of enhancers, which will be given to them by the low vision specialists.
Wow. Okay, so we have low vision specialists amongst you?
Yes, we do.
All right. This one says, good morning, Traffic Radio. How often should a healthy individual get their eyes checked? No name here. All right.
At least once every year.
Once every year?
Yeah.
Not every 6 months?
No, not... Okay, no, not every 6 months. At least once a year.
But for drivers, professional drivers?
For professional drivers, once in 6 months.
Okay.
Because there could be a development that you may not be aware of.
Right. This one says, what are some warning signs for potential eye problems to people... Okay, that people often ignore. Okay? I think you've discussed that earlier, but...
Okay, no. It depends on the condition. There are different warning signs. For children, basically, I mentioned that you have watery eyes, you have inability to see, they go close to the TV, they trace lines, they trace the book, with their finger when they are reading, they tilt their head when they are reading, they close one eye to read sometimes. You see, they run away from reading too, as well. For adults, they have this issue of you wake up in the morning, you can't read your Bible.
Right.
You tend to move your print further. When the light is dim, it's not clear. You wake up sometimes, you see that it's foggy. Sometimes you have a prickling pain. Sometimes your eyes feel tired. Basically, these are simple warning signs. However, you don't need to wait to have the warning signs before you see your eye.
All right.
Optometrist.
Okay, so how are we marking World Sight Day this year?
Good question. So we are doing a whole lot nationally. It's a nationwide campaign the Nigerian Optometric Association is engaging upon. But in Lagos, what we are doing is that because we have 4 different zones, we have the Ikeja zone, Festac zone, Alimosho zone, and Lagos Island. We're doing a whole lot of presentations on eye health, for schools. We're going to primary schools. We're talking to them about eye health. We are also having screenings in some places. In some communities, we are installing what we call vision corridors. Like in Agege on the 10th, we're going to have a road walk where we will distribute flyers and also carry out screening in about 5 schools at Oyewole. Then another thing we are doing, which is significant that we want everybody in Lagos to key into, is that they can take their child to any optometric clinic within them and the child will have a free eye test on the 10th. So that's one contribution we are making, because the call for World Sight Day is actually to see that we make eye care accessible, affordable, and available. So on our parts, we have mandated our colleagues, like in Ikeja, for instance, we have about 35 clinics that are open for these free services.
Okay.
And around Festac, Isolo, Okota, you also have about 35. On the island, you have about 20 clinics. They are open. Likewise, Alimosho. So people should avail themselves this opportunity because the service is going to be free. The screening, the test will be free, and in some cases they may be lucky they will get free glasses.
Right.
I said may because depending on the number.
Okay.
If a clinic is offering free tests and free glasses, they may not be able to offer more than 10 or 20%.
Which clinics can people go to get all of this that you mentioned?
I said any optometric clinics.
Okay.
Where
are your optometric clinics?
There are many. We have in Maryland, we have at Ikeja, we have at Allen, Festac, Island, VI, Lekki, they're all over Lagos. So that's why I mentioned the 4 zones per se. Ikeja zone covers Ikeja, Allen, Yaba, Surulere, Ikorodu, Ketu. Festac zone covers Isolo, Festac, Ojo, Badagry. So clinics around this neighborhood will offer free eye tests, while Island zone covers Lagos Island, VI, Lekki, Aja, Ekpe.
Right.
Then Alimosho covers Iyanopaja, Egbeda, Idimu. So clinics around this axis are also offering free eye tests.
Okay, so they can go to any of those locations?
They can go to any of those locations. And they should just watch out for this clinic sign. If you have a contact, check their WhatsApp status. You will see it. It's all over. Check the social media platforms. If you check NOA Lagos on the Instagram page, you will see the name of these clinics, All
right. So for those who want to connect with the Nigerian Optometric Association, how can they do that? Lagos State Chapter?
Okay.
For more on all of this that you've mentioned.
They can go to our website and they will get as much information as
your website.
The website is noalagos.org.
Okay,
www.noalagos.org. Then we also have our Instagram page at NOA Lagos, and then the Twitter handle is Lagos State NOA.
Right.
And we have NOA Lagos on Facebook as well.
All right, then. It's pretty nice. I'm hoping that people will take more care and take good care of their eyes as we mark this World Sight Day. Dr. Ogulu, it's always a thing of joy having you in the studios. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very
much. What's your patent thought in 30 seconds?
Well, in 30 seconds, we know that children are the future. And because they are the future, we need their eyes to stay healthy, to be good, and for them to be able to develop effectively, for them to develop to their optimal level. Because we want our children to excel, we call on parents, we call on schools, teachers, caregivers, guardians to pay close attention to the children and support them. Let us kill the stigma of, I don't want my child to use glasses. Since we want our child to perform well, we want our child to become great in the future, let us prioritize their eyesight so they can achieve their dream to the fullest.
All right.
Thank you very much.
We'll leave it at that for now. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
It's always a pleasure.
Wonderful. And she's ever smiling, actually. Healthy living. We're looking at World Sight Day in view. And our guest this morning, Dr. GLORIA OKOEKHIAN-OGULU. She's the chairperson of the Nigerian Optometric Association. We have to go. The program has been produced by Mike James. I say a big thank you to Okpayemi Shodunke of our social media unit. Our executive producer is Tayo Akonle. My name is Victor Oteri. I'm still very much in here. But of course, I'll be back by 10:15 for